showing up any second now.
Hey, we are on the air. We are live. Hello, America, and all the ships at sea. Happy hour.
Welcome.
Cheers, everybody. We
Yeah.
had many requests for where's Doc been? How come we haven't seen Doc on Happy Hour lately? So, ladies and gentlemen, we
Hey there.
dragged Doc onto
I think
Happy
by
Hour.
many people, I think you mean just one person who may or may not turn into my future stalker.
Hey, listen, as long as you got a stalker, you're not alone.
That's right.
I'll take what I can
Yeah.
get.
That's right.
Let's get an update on how Carla's doing. Carla had her big ankle surgery yesterday.
Yep. She's stretched out on the couch in there, got her propped up, drugged up, and she's good to go. And so far, so good. I've been keeping her fed and everything and making sure she gets to the bathroom and back. And
You
so
keeping
far,
her entertained? Are you keeping her entertained?
it's hard to she's seen everything I got.
Really?
She's seen my whole 20 minutes. I mean, you know what I'm saying? She's seen everything. So
Maybe put on something cute and do a little dancing boy thing for her, you know?
Yeah. Hey, I've employed some of those tactics as my full-time home health nurse for Kevin. So
Oh,
believe me,
wow.
he's not wrong.
it's probably different when you do it.
A little bit, yeah, probably a little less furry, I think, Lamar, on the chest.
Yeah.
We have giveaways tonight. Every comment counts as an entry. Heather, tell everybody what they can win.
We're giving away 5 caricature mugs. So just keep commenting, and I will pull them at the end of the stream.
Very good. I see that Roxanne is here from Eastern Iowa. I'm imagining that was a place that got hit pretty high with the snow. And she's talking about basketball, but I just lost her there. Maine has checked in. Hi from Megan Miller in Eugene, Oregon. Charlotte Belk. Hello, Charlotte.
Hey,
And
Charlotte.
Renee Goodspeed from Wake Forest.
We have Ed Erdley in Grand Junction and Jessica McLaughlin in Kentucky. And, it's going by fast. Dory Belkins. Happy Gateway to the Weekend, Dory. Steve Howell,
Yes.
Linda Barr, Don Kane, Patty Williams, Terry Joe Laval from Cedar Rapids. Cold but beautiful.
Everybody
Yeah.
have a nice Valentine's Day. Mary and I went out and had dinner at a little French restaurant, had a little fish. That was really nice. That was great. Except the guy at the table, there were like 6 or 8 people at the table. This guy had on kind of like, I don't know how to describe it. It's
The
a cap.
beret?
It's flat on the top, and it kind of looks like a fisherman's cap in a way.
Oh, like a Peaky Blinders cap.
Yeah, a little bit like that.
Yeah.
And older guy, very tall guy, totally dominated the conversation at the other table. I don't know if he didn't realize how loudly he was talking, but he wiped out half of the room with with his conversation. And he had on this bright red fuzzy vest that he probably got from I don't know, LL Bean in 1963, and he pulls it out every year. I'm just guessing.
Yeah.
But I really like when you get a guy like that, I really like looking at the wives of the other guys. You start with his wife, and then you go around the table looking at the wives and their faces. And they all say the same thing with that guy. So my suggestion is don't be that guy. Let everybody talk.
Well, I'm glad that you two got out and had a romantic Valentine's Day.
We did. Yeah, it was great. We had a lot
Doc,
of fun.
Doc, why don't you tell us about your Valentine's Day?
Well, it was the usual, the go and get the heart-shaped pizza from Papa John's and enjoy it in the peace and quiet. That was nice and lovely.
Yeah,
I've
sounds
had
good.
some years when that would have been great.
Yeah. Well, he didn't have that guy I was just talking about. So, that was a plus.
Well, Kevin, I did not go out for Valentine's Day, obviously, because the circumstances, but I made something special for dinner and we watched Lover, Stalker, Killer, which I think is the perfect Valentine's Day. In fact, Lamar's going to review that tomorrow. It's on Netflix. It's amazing. I mean, I don't think I blinked for the last 30 minutes of that show.
I'm playing
So
a poker
good.
face, but I loved it. Loved it. Oh my God.
So good.
It
Yeah.
is
I'm going to
so
see
good.
The Swans tonight. The new episode of The Swans is on. later on
Oh,
tonight.
Oh, wait. We have to congratulate Meredith Burgess, who just got into grad school to become a school counselor. I'm 50. I'm
Whoa!
ecstatic. I
Great.
hope everyone is having a
Nice. Good
great
for
night.
you.
Raise your
Yeah.
glasses.
Absolutely.
Congratulations. That is
Cheers
All
to
awesome.
right.
you. Oh my God.
Fantastic. That's fantastic. Yeah.
Charlotte said she celebrated on Tuesday with a steak dinner, and then they took their new pup for puppy training on Valentine's night.
Oh.
I like an unconventional Valentine's Day.
Hmm.
You know, we've all had the standard cliche,
Yeah.
right? I like a little more unconventional. And I know that Lamar, your Valentine's Day was a lot like mine
Well,
because
it
you were
was, but
bringing
we went
Carla
out
home
on
from surgery.
Tuesday, knowing that what Wednesday was going to be. I went out. I took her out on Tuesday night, and we had a really, really nice dinner. And
Right.
I had the flowers delivered. When we walked into our table, the flowers are there, and she says to me, "Why didn't you just go to Costco?" And I looked at her and I said, "What do you mean?" She goes, "You know, I love Costco flowers. Why would you pay the why didn't you just go to Costco?" And I said, "Maybe you don't remember this. A few years ago, you made a comment that, there's a little different in having them delivered and me picking them up and bringing them to your work or, whatever." And she goes,
Yeah.
"No way. I didn't say that, did I?" I said,
Yeah, you did.
"Well, yeah, you did." I said,
I
"That's why."
remember it.
I
We
said,
talked about it on the radio show a couple of years.
Yeah. I said, "So that's why for the last few years you've had delivered flowers." And she goes, "God, I'm a bitch." She said, "I can't believe I would have said that. That doesn't sound like me." I said, "Well, do you think I just stopped picking up the Costco flowers for the heck of it?" I said, "No." I said, I said, "You didn't make a big deal about it, but you just sort of said," and I'm like, "Okay, that's it for the Costco flowers." She
You
goes,
were for several years kind of the man to beat at Valentine's Day with
"Oh, I was the man to beat in
yeah,
her
you
office. I
were.
was the man to beat."
Yeah. And tonight you before we went on, you're brewing some spaghetti sauce?
Yep, making spaghetti sauce and letting it
Okay.
simmer for a little while, and so we're gonna have
Right.
spaghetti here in just a little bit. And I made vegetable beef soup last night.
Uh-huh.
So
When I would make spaghetti sauce, and I do it like you, that like there's a base from a really good brand, and then, kick in some more onions, maybe some more garlic and all. If I start doing that and drinking this, it's such a pleasure to be stirring it, and
yeah.
you taste it a little bit, and then you have a little bit of wine, and you're talking a little bit, and you're
Yeah.
stirring it a little bit. All of a sudden, you're a bottle and a half in, and you can't stir it no more because it's so thick.
One of the great pleasures is a rainy Saturday afternoon and making everything from scratch. No
I've done that.
shortcuts.
I've done
Yeah.
that once. I've
Are you
done
talking
that
about
once.
spaghetti sauce or
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
else?
Meatballs, all of it,
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Joel,
yeah.
all of it from
I,
scratch.
I did the spaghetti sauce once from scratch, and it was great. But oh
It's a lot of
god,
work.
it,
So,
it is.
Sherry, how do you make the meatballs?
Well, you have to be super careful to not you have to be very gentle with ground meat because the more you work it, you jack
Yeah,
with the proteins and it gets tough.
yeah,
So the secret to meatballs, and I put my grandma Bartholetti's recipe in Cooking with Cats, which was a family freaking secret for decades. It's I use half ground beef and half ground pork, and that is the giant secret. Plus really good fresh locatelli romano cheese and fresh parsley and everything fresh garlic, fresh basil, and
yeah.
then gentle, and then I brown them in olive oil. I don't cook them all the way through. I brown them in olive oil, drain them, and then let them finish cooking in the sauce.
Fantastic. Yeah.
And
Kate,
that is
before I
a
forget,
lovely that's a
yeah,
lovely rainy day cooking
yeah,
thing.
I want to get back to that. But Kay, I think her last name is pronounced Lesi, Lesi. She
Lisi, yeah.
said, I'm at an age where my husband and I go out to lunch for Valentine's Day. I think she said she was 64 years old. We go out to lunch for Valentine's Day, don't have a big mess to clean up. And we went to see Murder on the Orient Express at Belmont Abbey College. and had no idea that Max
Max.
had one of the
Yes.
leading roles in it.
Yeah.
Yes.
How about
This
that?
is great. It's
Yeah, that's
great.
very cool.
It's
That's
great.
very cool.
Well, I will tell y'all something exciting because it was a first. On Tuesday, I had a doctor's appointment because I'm all like, that's why I'm twisting around so much. I'm like miserable. I'm in so much pain. But I had a doctor's appointment and Kev was like, well, I'll come, just get out of the house. So he came and he waited in the car for me while I got my appointment. And then we went and got tacos. He rode his little scooter through the parking lot into the restaurant and we had some tacos and got back and scootered back out to the car and got home. And that was a big step getting out there.
No, that
So,
is huge for him. That is
yeah.
huge for him.
Yeah.
So Kevin has embraced the scooter.
Oh, he's so good on the scooter. So
Really?
one of our listeners named Chris New, and she listens to us on Q98, shouting out my team on Q98, had reached out to me and said, I've got a scooter just collecting dust and I'm happy to give it to you guys. And she wouldn't take any money for it. She insisted. So we drove out there and got it. Her scooter, okay, it came with stickers. It came with a Rapunzel sticker and I think a Roblox sticker. Like it's so cute, but it is so hardcore. It's like a little BMX bike. It's
Yeah.
really sturdy. And Kev gives it one push and he zooms the length of the house. Like it has
Fantastic.
a really tight turn radius. So he's able to like really maneuver on this thing. And the other day, my sister wife, Joni, came over and she brought Ada and Ella as a surprise for
Yeah.
Kev. And it really like boosted. It was such
Good.
a great boost because he's so cabin fevered out. And so Ada got on the scooter with Kevin and Ella got on one of our ride-on toys and they had a race. And it was,
Oh,
oh my God, it was so fun. So yeah,
that's great.
really,
And our listener gave Kevin the scooter.
yeah,
What is it?
Chris gave Kevin the scooter.
Just get it.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Does she have like a I don't know, an older car? Because Hampton's looking for something. That would be really nice.
Hey, let me speak here. I got a listener, Tommy Phillips, said, hey, Tommy Phillips was my supervisor for many, many years when I was on the truck at Budweiser. He's
Really?
the greatest guy. He
Oh,
is 100% the greatest guy. And if I'm not mistaken, I hope I'm not overstating this, Tommy may be 80. He may be 80 at this point. And if you walk up to him right now and grab him, it's like grabbing a fence post. I mean, he is a sturdy
Yeah.
guy. He's always been just rock solid.
Right.
But he was the favorite person in my life that I've ever worked for.
Oh,
And,
that's so
yeah,
great.
I love him to death. He's such a great, great guy. And I appreciate him listening. Thanks. Good to
Yeah.
see you out there, Tommy.
Looking at you tonight, he must be so disappointed in how things have turned out.
He did the best he could. He gave it his best shot.
He did. He tried, Lamar.
He tried. Gosh, he tried.
Yeah, that's a sweet, sweet thing to say about somebody like that. You know, we don't have that many people in our lives, but the ones that we do have who helped us along,
Yeah,
God,
I had a couple of mentors in the
They're
business,
gold.
and he was
Did
probably
you?
my best guy. He was my best guy. Yeah, he did. He
Yeah.
was just
Yeah.
absolutely. He just said he's 78.
Yeah,
78?
you called him 80,
Okay.
like offensive.
Well, if you saw him, if me and him were standing next to each other, you would think I was older than. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, he's in great shape. And
But when you call out somebody's age,
about 5 years ago,
when you call out somebody's age, you always have to go low. You
I know.
always-
Well, I
always
know
have
because
to
I
go
thought
low.
he was 88, so that's why I said 80.
Let me answer a question because a couple of people have asked it. What was the big loud bang I heard that made me go running upstairs when I did a header and went flying and cracked everything? The cat had jumped up and I had a stack of books, papers, and mail, some stuff I was working on. And the cat jumped up and just bam, sent it flying.
Wow.
And there was stuff in there. There was one of those like percussion massagers that I'd been using on my neck. And that thing made such a freaking loud crash. I thought Kevin went down. And so, yeah, let me shout out the cats for that. Cause that
I
was
want to say hi to
a good time.
Tanya, Gulfport, Mississippi. You know, that's a place we haven't heard from before, have we? I bet that's an interesting part of Mississippi. Obviously, right on the water there. Very
Yep.
cool. Thank you for being with us tonight.
Yeah.
Let me lean up again. Oh, Sarah's having a hot toddy to nurse a head cold. That does sound good, actually. Maybe that's what I should have had instead of this glass of wine. Maybe I should have had a hot toddy. I want to say hi to Crystal, Crystal Hurst in Williamsburg, Kentucky, and Angela Percival in Booth Bay, Maine. Did you get hammered with that storm, Angela? Bob, did Maine get as hammered as Connecticut?
No, no, I don't think anywhere did. I was looking, I still have friends in New Haven, and I was looking at what happened there. They got a good solid 8 inches of snow, I
Oh,
think, at least 8 inches of snow. I talked with a friend in Maine, Martha Dudman, and she's on the coast, and she didn't get anything. She's in Northeast Harbor, and unless something happened since then. But I think Maine was spared a little bit because it went out to the ocean. But boy, New York State and Connecticut and New York City has not seen snow like that in, I think, several years. People were in Central Park. You probably saw some of the pictures, sledding and everything.
yeah.
I love when they call it snowpocalypse. The thing
Yeah.
is, you can really only do that once, because if you have snowpocalypse 3 or 4 times a month,
It's not really the
people start checking out. They're like, yeah,
Yeah.
no,
yeah,
that's
whatever.
fine. That's fine. We're not even going to put chains on the tires. Um, Isaiah McMillan said the snowstorm missed us, but we have snow tomorrow. Lemon drop martini with Meredith Miller. Kat Kane said Minneapolis got 4 inches of snow last night and very icy. See, that's what I don't miss about living out west. The snow is one thing, but when you got to get up and go to work in the morning, I do not miss. Slipping and sliding around on the ice and having to defrost my car, and I don't go. You're right, I don't go anywhere now, but I used to have to, and it was a nightmare.
I-
Susan Wilcox in Masonville, New York, first time here with Happy Hour. Yay! Welcome, Susan.
Mary
Yay.
Thorstad. Yes, I am familiar with the Bud Light Chilada, but tomato, I just can't do it. It's a huge seller, but mixing tomato juice with I just can't do it.
Have you ever
What
tried it, Lamar?
what is
Yeah,
what is
I
it?
just don't like. That's why I want to drink Bloody Marys, but I don't care for tomato juice. I just don't. I just don't like
A michelada, it's tomato juice with beer and
it. Yeah,
lime.
and let me
It's
tell
a
you,
it's a
No.
hangover cure and a half. It
we
really is.
sell, or we did. That's a big, huge seller. I'm really shocked at how big of a seller it is, but it is. It's huge.
Really?
Yeah.
Who buys it? Is it purchased by
Well,
men or
Hispanic.
women?
It's a Hispanic deal.
It's
But
delicious.
before anybody knew about the Hispanic part of the chilada part, I remember guys and all the beer companies I've ever worked with, the old guys would come in on a Friday morning after being out all night, and they'd have tomato juice pouring it in the beer at 8 o'clock
Yeah.
in the morning to get straightened out. So look at here, the man. What's up, brother? How you doing?
Kevin, all right.
Good to
How are
see
you
you.
doing?
Sherry, you
doing
got to
it.
move the
He's
mic
doing
over.
great. Oh, here, give you the mic.
Yeah. Put the mic near Kevin.
Is
How
she treating
you
you right?
doing? Speak
Is
for
she
yourself.
treating you right?
There isn't a better nurse than Nurse Goodbody here.
Oh, isn't that
I
sweet?
hate to be waited on, and I'm gonna be missing this life.
So, what are some of the I don't want to say surprising, but some of the more
Perks?
charming things that she's done for you since the surgery?
Can you talk about that stuff on
You
radio?
can, yeah, you can. When he looks sad, I show him my boobs. It's too bad they can't use that in professional healthcare settings.
Yeah,
It's really
yeah.
wonderful. It's a
Well, they've
non-narcotic.
never really tried it. If they tried it, they may have a lot of miracle healings.
Probably work good. Yeah, that's
I mean,
right.
if we were on the phone and I didn't have to see y'all, I could probably, I could tell you where,
I make
So,
him.
is she
Listen,
cooking
that's
good
nothing.
food for you? Is she
Yeah, I'm cooking
massaging
good
your
food.
back, making the TV right for you, putting pillows for you, the whole thing?
all of the above.
Wow.
His days are so monotonous because he's so limited that I feel like a delicious food, like a yummy meal, would be something that would be nice, like that would break up the monotony a little bit. So
Yeah.
this morning, I made him a biscuit with scrambled eggs and Canadian bacon. And then for dinner tonight, I made him egg roll in a bowl, which is so yummy.
I'm making that. I am making that this week
It's
while I've got Carla. Yeah, because I'm looking for something extra to make for her. That's great. That's good.
What is egg roll in a bowl? It sounds good.
You would love it, Bob. So imagine like the inside of an egg roll, but without the wrapper, except I do some other things to it. So I do ground pork, onions, ginger, garlic, water chestnuts, bamboo shoots, sriracha, mirin, rice wine vinegar, soy sauce,
Whoa.
sesame oil. Little grated carrot, grated 3 different kinds of grated cabbage, and it's like keto. If you're on the keto diet, you need to Google egg roll in a bowl because you can make it. You could serve it over rice if you wanted to, but
Yeah.
you can make it like basically, keto friendly,
Yeah.
carb free. It is delicious. It's like his new favorite thing. So I
A little
make
bit
him,
like meat crab.
yeah, a little bit like meat crab if you like Thai food. So I
Yeah.
made him that, and for Valentine's Day, I made him a special Valentine's dinner. I made him a lobster tail so that
Oh,
he would
nice.
feel like he was having like a proper Valentine's.
Yeah.
And every morning I bring him his breakfast with like a little cup that has his vitamins in it now that he's not taking pain medicine anymore. And I keep his beverages rolling for him all day long. And in the beginning,
Not only going in, coming out.
Oh, yeah, I handle that too.
She empties my jug.
I do, and clean it with Clorox like the proper Italian housewife that I am. Clorox on everything. Um, and in the beginning, when he was really like a hot mess and in a surgical cast, I would haul him into the shower and give him a good aggressive scrub down, which apparently was too aggressive and not as pleasurable as he.
Yeah, I think you talked to us using that iron brush the wire brush.
Yeah.
That was not.
It really gets the grime out, though.
It does do that. Yeah, it does do that.
There's never a shortage of soap when Sherry washes something. She is an excellent washer of the dishes. A rinser is kind of not so good. Coffee tastes like Dawn every once in a while. So, and my jug smells so much like Clorox. I'm a little worried in the middle of the night I might get burned dropping in there.
Oh my God, TMI. But you have to remember that I grew up with an Italian grandmother who, when my brothers would bring girls home, if my grandmother did not approve of those girls, right in front of them, as soon as they finished like whatever they were drinking, she would take the glass and without breaking eye contact, sprinkle Comet cleanser in it and start scrubbing it. It was so
No.
aggressive. Yes. Oh my God.
You know,
So, I learned it from the master that
I hadn't really heard the
Sorry.
word Comet cleanser. Listen, that was a staple. Comet cleanser
Mhm.
when I was a kid. That was you had Comet cleanser and
You
you
had to.
used it on everything. Comet
Everything.
cleanser, everything.
Yeah. How about SOS pads?
Oh, SOS pads. Oh,
Mhm.
yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. I still buy them every once in a while,
There's some things you need a SOS pad for. There's
But
some
my
things-
favorite is Barkeeper's Friend.
Yes, on stainless
kid
steel,
down
our
the
keeper's friend.
Lamar, the kid down the street from my grandmom, I don't know whether it was poison ivy or poison oak or whatever, but his mother, another little Italian lady from the old country, his mother scrubbed his poison oaked legs with a Brillo pad.
No.
Like they do to prisoners. Okay, like it
To
was.
make them
I
talk.
I
To
bet
make
you
them-
he stayed away. I bet you couldn't throw him in poison oak after that. He stayed
No.
away from.
Oh, he never went farther than a library after that. He
He
never
never
got
went
near
outside
anything.
again.
Oh God. Doc, could you keep it down, please? For crying out loud, keep it down.
There's a lot going on here.
Doc, the question is, why are your posters right and my shirt is backward?
Because you didn't click your
Because you didn't click your
button.
Yeah, you didn't
I
click
didn't
your
click my
button to
camera.
mirror.
Oh, there's so much to think about.
This is why
I'm
my
not gonna
own
do it
air
now.
sign, you can read it because you couldn't read it the first time I put it up. And Heather said, change the setting. And now you can read it.
Now you can read it. Well, it says
So it says
Temple.
Temple, though, doesn't it? I thought it
Yeah.
said Georgia at first, so it says Temple, right?
No, I have a Georgia shirt too that's red, but this is my Temple shirt.
Yeah.
I'm representing the alma mater.
Who
too.
just the part that has ever hurt me on this whole thing is when I had 2 staples in my heel, and when they came out, those mofos hurt.
Did
What-
I
That's the only
Were
part that's
you-
hurt me the whole time.
Amy Reynolds, I've never lived in Buncombe County. I'm sorry. There must be another good-looking guy there. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Kevin, when they took the staples out, you weren't under some sort of a block or some sort of a painkiller?
Oh,
Oh no. Well, the other ones, none of the other ones hurt. There's just two on my heel where they shot a screw in that were
Yeah.
in some thick, dry skin, and they bled and they made me think.
I showed y'all. Let me find it. I showed
oh, that picture.
you
That
the
picture.
X-ray.
Yeah, I
Okay,
don't want to see it again. I've looked at it like a half a dozen times.
good
Holy
grief.
smoke. Look at that
Oh
thing.
man.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. So much
It
pain.
isn't
But
isn't anesthesia an amazing thing though?
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, I did not want to be put to sleep, but
Yeah.
and I was, and I told them I was nervous about it, and they were
Yeah.
excellent about sneaking up on me, and yeah, it was
I
When
mean,
I took Carla Wednesday, they came in. They said we're going to do the nerve block before you go in, and so she was very nervous about the nerve block. She was just the whole needle thing. She was very nervous. And the anesthesiologist, he was so cool. He said, "No, here's what we're going to do. We're going to come in. What kind of music do you like?" And Carla said,
Yeah.
"I like 70s music." She go, "Okay, we're going to come in. We're going to start playing some 70s music. You're going to relax. We're going to give you a little bit of stuff to make you just not really care what's going on. And then we're going to put the nerve block in." And she was really worried, but it went really smooth. And he said, "You
Good.
won't remember a thing." And she said, "You know what? I cannot remember the nerve block." She said, "But I can remember the music," which I thought was a cool touch. It was a very cool touch.
can
All right,
I
we
tell
have
you how
we
this
have to
went?
all stop talking about this, or Tom Selleck's going to come in and talk about reverse mortgages.
no, that
So
was
No,
all
no.
of that was exactly the same thing that happened to me, except for really none of it. There was a tornado warning when all
Yeah.
the shit
Oh,
started
yeah,
hitting
that's
the left.
oh
We had to
yeah,
take shelter in a stairwell from
yeah.
an incoming tornado, so we didn't get to hear Sanford and Townsend,
Uh-oh.
Well, we lost Sherry.
Hopefully she'll come back.
He'll come back. And Kevin. And Kevin. Well, he looks good, doesn't he? I mean, it
Yeah,
sounds
he
like
looks
things
real
are going
good.
okay. Yeah,
Considering what that, because that's a huge deal. That the
it really
surgery
is.
was very complicated, and he's
Yeah.
doing really, really well. He's tough
Yeah.
though. God, he's tough. He's tough.
It is just amazing. There she is. There they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. You do you have sound, Sherry?
Yeah, I can. I mean, I'm
Okay.
assuming.
There's Kevin. Let's
So,
pick up with Kevin again.
I mean, people have been so wonderful and have, we've had so many people come by. Our old friend Lisa that we worked with, Bob, Lisa came by and made dinner, and
Oh, that's great.
people have sent things. The thing is, he's not super mobile, but he's doing really well, and he got off of his pain meds really quick, and he's in good shape.
I'm more mobile than your average.
No, that's very cool. I told Sherry this, Bob. I didn't tell you. The doctor gave us the plate and all the screws that he took out of Carla's ankle. I've
You
got
are
them in
Can't
a
wait to
bag.
see.
Yeah.
Oh, what a beautiful shadow box that would be if you
That's
could
what
put it
I
together
said.
at Christmas.
That's what I said. And it's
Yeah.
still got the blood on it. It's still got a little
Oh
bit of blood
yeah.
on it. Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent.
No.
Isn't that freaky? I mean, can you imagine just like 100 years ago, 150 years ago, when, cowboy era, and somebody had an issue like Kevin was dealing with or Carla was dealing with?
Shoot him in the head.
That'd be it.
Well, we just watched a Western show. I turned Lamar onto it on Netflix called Godless, and I'm
Ooh,
here to
good.
tell you,
It's good.
you took a bullet in the arm in the Old West, they
Ooh.
took your arm.
Yeah.
Like there
Yeah.
was none of this, like, oh, we're gonna put you in a cast and then you're gonna go to physical therapy. They
Saw
were
it
like,
off.
bite down on this belt, cowpoke.
Take
And
2
then
shots of liquor and we're gonna saw it off. Oh no.
Yeah. The barber was the local dentist, according
Yes.
to legend.
Yes.
Hoo-hoo!
Yes.
Now I'm not,
And
my hair
doc-
cutter is a good person, but I do not want her extracting one of my teeth. I mean, those people were rough. Hello from speaking of the West, Yuma, Arizona. That's
Oh,
Craig
you
Nelson says, "Love you all. We love you." Lamar and I had a great time doing.
Yes.
What did we do?
Love
About
it.
an hour's worth of stand up there a few years ago.
Yep. We did. We did.
That was one of my favorite professional experiences.
It was great.
We were in front of what 400 people, something like that, on stage. We just walked right on because
Late. We were late.
late.
But that's when
Yeah.
Bob drove over 95 miles an hour. The only time in his entire life. And
It's
I
true.
videoed the odometer at 95. He was driving 95. I'm like, oh my God, what are we doing?
I have driven on the Charlotte Motor Speedway when they had a bunch of radio personalities that were allowed to do that in a promotion. And I don't think I got up to 95, but my legend is I had a little BMW 320i, and I was so proud of it, and I get it going, and it's just me on the Charlotte Motor Speedway. And all of my friends are there, and the radio station people, and there's some listeners there, and I'm gunning it down the straightaway where you take off. And I got that son of a bitch going up to about 80, 85 miles an hour. And now here comes the apron where you take, you're like sideways. And they
And you got to
told
be
me,
going fast because you're
you
on
got
a
to
wall.
you got to be going faster. So I said, here we go. This is going to be great. And I don't know how fast I was going because I hit the turn signal to go down lower.
Of course you did.
And I think the laughter from those people drowned out anything else
Of course
that
you
I
did.
could have experienced.
And I've heard stories. I'd need to see proof of Bob driving 95.
Listen, that's why I videoed it. I hope I still got it somewhere because I'm sitting in the back seat and I feel like we're going way past Bob's speed. And I look up and it's like at 95. And I said, nobody will believe this unless I videotape it.
You were
And
looking at kilometers.
We were only a few minutes late, but we ran straight through the door and jumped up on the stage and started.
That's because that's how much I love an audience, ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen. That is how much I care. I put my life and others at risk in order to entertain you.
Well, I was a little scared because to be in the car with somebody that's never drove over 56 and they're going 95, you know what I'm saying? I mean,
yeah, but it's, I got to say, it's Arizona. I mean, it's straight out Arizona at night,
If you're in the car with me and I'm running up to the local grocery store, I'm running at least 90 just to go to the grocery store. So I'm okay with that. But when but he was on it. He was on it. No doubt.
That was a great night. That was a great night. Wonderful people there.
Yeah, we had a good time.
I'm just reading through all the comments. Oh my gosh. Amanda Bagley said, you guys got me through the pandemic and my depression. Oh my gosh.
Awesome.
That's so sweet.
Awesome.
That is so
Oh
sweet.
God. Y'all don't realize you got us through the pandemic and our depression.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
real,
true.
like so real. It was so, sometimes like I saw my chiropractor, like, so I hadn't seen him in a while. And I've been going to him on and off since Olivia was born. And I walked in and his eyes popped because he hadn't seen my hair. And he goes, how have you been? I said, oh, I had a rough pandemic. And oh, how we laughed. But we had a rough pandemic. And thanks to all of you pulled us through it too.
Yep.
Right,
Still here.
Tiberius?
I have heard in the last few weeks, and I don't know why it just popped up in the last few weeks. Multiple people say, I really missed that COVID period where we were shut down, the COVID shutdown. I've heard
Why?
people
Do they say why?
Yeah, they said my life was less complicated. I had less to do. I didn't socially have to show up for something. Clothing wise, I didn't have to buy anything. It was just me. A couple of them were couples without children, so that probably plays into it too. But it was just me and my other, and we cooked and we watched TV, and it's gone now. And now, for the most part, we're back to all of the stressors that we deal with every day. I've been to, I don't go to a lot of parties, but I've been to 2 or 3 parties recently, and somebody at every one of them said that at one time or another.
Well, it's funny that you say that because I told Kev about a week ago, like, I'm sorry that he is going through this. And I'm sorry that it was painful and that he's immobilized. And, honestly, it's a year-long recovery. Like, he'll come out of this cast into a boot and then into months and months of physical therapy. They rebuilt his ankle, his left ankle and foot, and part of his calf. Like, that's no joke. They rebuilt his left leg.
I really am kind of reliving that COVID shit. And I think if you really got to do it, I don't know. It's not so cool.
But what I said to him though a week or so ago was, I'm sorry you're going through this, but I'm kind of enjoying this time where you can't escape me. Like, we're just stuck here
No
together.
shit.
We're
I cannot escape.
No, but I hear what Kevin's saying, and yeah,
Yeah.
I have a friend, Jeff, who I refer to my silver best friend in suburban Palm Springs, California, and he says I probably fill up the car once every month and a half. Helene and I don't go anywhere. His wife, he works out of the house. He's a weatherman, and it's fine with him. That's the life that he likes. That is not the life that I like. I really do like I mean, I make fun of myself. I've never met a stranger because I've never met a stranger, but I like being out in the world. I like seeing stuff. I like looking, I like walking, going through the preserve with the dog near the house, going to restaurants, luncheonettes. I just like being out there.
And we're
So
goers. Carla and I
yeah,
are goers. We
yeah,
go.
yeah,
We go. We go. Well, the other weekend, we started off here. We drove like an hour and 45 minutes to see Mother's Finest. And then we spent the night with some people. We got up and we drove to Charlotte for the RV show. And then we drove somewhere. I mean, we put like 300 miles on a car in the weekend because we're going places and doing stuff.
right.
I enjoy going places and
I do
doing
too.
stuff. I really do.
I do too. Yeah.
I love a road trip. I mean, I think we both thought that it would be easier for Kev to be even a passenger, but having his foot down has been kind of miserable.
Yeah.
So we haven't really been able to get out as much as we thought we would, but that'll be changing pretty soon. And, it's not that you loved a pandemic or all of the hellscape that it enforced on all of us, but I think I mean, I understand what people say they miss that. You were forced suddenly to just stay still.
You were
But
challenged.
and you
You
were
were
forced
challenged and
also
you
to
had to get
embrace
through.
your relationship. You were. And sometimes that did not work out.
Yeah.
With us, it was, I don't want to say a blessing, but we enjoyed each other so much. It was the first time either one of us did not have children to care for. The very first time. I'm just reflecting on that right now because they were off in college. And it was kind of nice, just the two of us trying to figure our way through. Did you? I brought in the steaks and the chicken. Did you spray them down before we cook them tonight? I mean, it was an
Yeah.
adventure in a way. God knows I wouldn't want to relive it because of the horrors and the people who we lost.
Having kids is a tricky deal in a marriage. Having kids is a tricky deal.
It is.
And we had some stuff going on with one of the kids about whatever. And so we're doing some therapy stuff or whatever. And one of the things the guy said, he said, listen, pay attention to this. You got to draw a circle around you and your wife. There's a circle. You don't let anybody inside that circle because at one point, all of your children are going to grow up. They're going to be adults. They're going to have lives on their own and they're going to do something. And there you are. And if you two people don't know each other, and if you let something else come inside that circle and mess that up, you got a problem. And I think that's true. I mean,
Oh,
your
that's
kids are
great
going to have a
advice.
life. Yeah.
That is
So
great advice.
I will say something really wonderful came out of the COVID lockdowns, and it had nothing to do with us. But my girls, like, anybody, I don't have sisters, so I don't really know what that dynamic is like. But my
Sucks for me.
my two girls are very different, and they had grown very far apart. Karamia was consumed by dance and debate. Olivia had all of her own job and art and friends and everything, and they didn't really have anything in common, and they got thrown together
Except drama.
except drama. Yeah, they got thrown together during lockdown and they became best friends.
Yeah.
And
Oh, is that right? I didn't know that.
yeah,
that's great.
yeah.
See, that's
Wow.
great. That's
So
great.
I will be forever thankful for that opportunity because they were going to school in two different states, studying two completely different things, and I'm not sure how they would have made their way back to each other. COVID
I
accelerated
want
that.
to talk about something that we've had Madison as a guest here for a couple of days. She came down for Mary's birthday, and it's been great. I wish her dog would come in here. He's a Labradoodle, and he's been delightful to be with us too. And she and I, Mary went to bed, and she and I were in the kitchen, and I was talking to her, and I said, "So, how do you like a lifestyle as far as work goes? And like a lot of, oh, there she is.
Gross.
Say hi to Kevin, who is
Kevin,
yeah.
how are you?
Excellent. How are you?
Haven't seen you in forever. It's good to see you.
Yeah.
I'm glad you got to see me.
And this is
Bye,
the-
Mary.
Let me see if I can get. There he is. All right. There
Hey,
he is right
Dudley.
there. That's Dudley. And so I was saying to her, what kind of a lifestyle do you want as far as work goes? And she's, a young woman and really a good professional. And she said, I'd like a couple of days a week, 3 days a week, maybe in an office, and the rest of the time working from home independently. And I think that's what so many people her age want. And I thought and said, and I don't know if it's right or wrong, if I really wanted to rise in business right now, I think I would be in the office 5 days a week
Yep.
because
That's where
you'll send a message
that's where your
to
growth is.
it.
You
Yeah.
have Jodie Foster's respect.
But you know what, you guys, you have to remember you're talking from a perspective of a world that no longer exists.
True.
Companies are not loyal to employees.
I'm
And
just talking about
people,
rising. You're right. The boss
Gen
is over
Z,
there. The boss is over there, and I'm over here. I'm
well,
not over there.
Gen Z and millennials, they have a stronger sense of work-life balance than Gen
Yeah.
X and boomers did.
It's
Yep.
true.
Because guess what? You give your whole life to a job, and that job doesn't give a shit about you. So I am so supportive of millennials and Gen Zers who are pushing back on that. Because you know what? I sacrificed a lot for my job.
Yep.
And do you see any of those assholes in here now? No, you do not. Because at the end of the day, that sacrifice did not matter to them. Now, I want to shift gears because Doc and Heather had a very different COVID lockdown experience than we did.
Yes.
And I'm curious to hear, as you're listening to all of this, like what your take on it is. Let's start with you, Doc.
Well, it was kind of an introvert dream in a way of the world kind of slowing down around you and being able to enjoy the peace and quiet of stuff. And I think for like one of the things I wouldn't be here if it weren't for the pandemic, probably, and kind of forced me to like I was a super hardcore like my whole personality was about work before then, and I think the pandemic kind of forced me to reset and actually take the work life balance thing a little more seriously.
And I know like we work long days and we work hard, but like I always push for you to prioritize like, hey, this is your life. This is your life. And this business, especially in our business, like I don't know what it's like if you work, in an accounting firm or for highway construction or as a pediatric nurse, but in our business, they'll take it until you drop.
Yep.
They're happy to have you working 14 hours a day, 7 days a week, and every single holiday. And you get maybe a 50-cent raise every 2 years. Like I say a firm, hard, absolutely no to that. And I
I
really want to see you guys like have some balance in your life. And both Heather and Doc are introverts. So this has really worked for them. How about you, Heather?
I so I the pandemic happened at the same time I changed jobs. Because I came from working for the stations to just working for the show, and it was such a weird experience for me. I felt like I was going out of my mind because I was a workaholic. I was always working, and then I didn't have the same like I work a lot now, but not nearly as much as I did then. It's not events constantly and phone calls constantly. And so it really forced me to have to realize that I didn't have any hobbies outside of work. I didn't have a life outside of work.
Yeah.
Um, and so it gave me time to do that, to figure out who I was really.
Well, that's what happens when you are working for evil and then come over to Bob and Sherry. Goodness.
I was very fortunate to work for a family-owned operation at a beer
Mhm.
distributorship.
Mhm.
So the resources were there to have benefits and everything else, but you still had that family connection.
That's so
And
wonderful.
I
Yeah.
spent 37 years there, and it was a family. It was absolutely this. I tell you what, I've had such a ridiculously great life. It's stupid. What a great life. But they cared about individuals. They cared about what was going on with your family. They cared about everything, and it was awesome. Now they would work you. That's no problem. I mean, they're looking for hard work and everything like that. But at the same time, if you had a problem, they were there. If you had situations going on, they were there. So I had the corporate structure, but it was a family-owned situation, and that does not exist. That's almost gone. That's hard to find. But
But
man,
that
it
is
was
what
great.
when you hear politicians talk about bringing back another era, that is what they're talking about. They're
Never
talking
gonna
about
happen.
where
But it's not going to happen.
it's
They want to
not.
Time
bring it
doesn't
back.
work that way.
Yeah,
Never going to happen.
it doesn't. But back actually before your period, Lamar, businesses, and I'm talking about big businesses and small or at least medium-sized businesses, cared about the community. They knew they were going to get tax breaks and they were going to do very well and all. But the deal that was unsaid was that they would contribute to schools or whatever it is and look out for their long-term employees. And it worked really good until the
Did.
corporate
It was
raiders
great.
came in.
It was
Yeah.
great.
It's
And I
gone
was
now.
fortunate. It's
Yeah.
gone.
It's gone
Yeah.
now and it doesn't come back. And
Well,
I have had years of being told, soften it, Sherry, play nice, Sherry. And you know what? Screw that. I mean, I worked with no maternity leave. I came to work sick. I brought my sick kids into the radio station. And at the end of the day, you know what I got? I got shown the door. So I do not push my daughters to follow those old extinct work relationship models because they don't exist anymore. Do you know how many companies cap their employees at just the amount of hours below what they would get to qualify for benefits? I'm
Yeah,
talking
30.
about big, giant companies like Walmart, okay?
right. Yeah.
Right.
The contract between worker and employee is broken. They didn't just break it, they took a piss on it. So I do not encourage anyone to give their life to a job.
Nope.
You give your life to yourself and to your family and to the people you love, and you make a living. Because I'm watching in this chat stream tonight, someone got fired after 35 and a half years, gave her life to that company. And you know what they gave her? A good hard kick in the butt on the way out the door. So we don't live in that world anymore. Boy, I sure wish we did, but we don't live in that
There
world.
are some companies that are doing that. A friend of mine has a son that works for UPS. Their contract right now is fantastic.
They
I mean,
just laid off 12,000 employees, though, not too long ago.
Yep.
but the contract itself is enabling this one guy who's a driver to make like $100,000 a year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, it's
and
great.
that's
Yeah.
great. That's great. It's not so good for the ones they laid off. I
Right.
mean, we are driving people, we are working people to death, working them to death. And this is not what God put you on this planet for. God did not put you on this planet to grind yourself into the ground. And our loyalties are misplaced. We are loyal to all the wrong things. The company is not loyal to you.
Oh, it never
It's just
has
not.
been, really. Even back in the good old days. Andy Rooney said that.
Yeah.
If you talk about loyalty with a company, it's the worker who's loyal to the company because
Yeah.
he appreciates the work. It doesn't come the other way. But there are some good companies out there. I
They
mean, we
are.
just
They
can't
are.
say
But
that they're
few
the
and
one
far
you
between.
described. But
Costco.
yeah,
Costco's a
Oh,
great place to
Costco.
work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Costco's a great place to
I
work.
just want to say that pre-pandemic, I didn't have to talk to anybody that didn't have four legs from 6 o'clock in the morning till at least 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Since the pandemic, My life has not been the same at all. My social life has gone the opposite way of everybody else's, and it has not pleased me.
Those four-legged friends are pretty nice, aren't they?
You know what? Me and Carla had this conversation last week sometime. I said, we didn't, we spent some time together, for most of our marriage. I said, but then all of a sudden we're here because she's doing real estate. So she's here. I'm doing this. I'm here. I said, man, this could have really went bad. It really could. Because I'm a lot. I am a lot to be around. I am. I'm a lot. And she's a lot. I mean, we're both a lot. And I thought that was going
Yeah,
to be a bad
you
deal.
may be a lot, and what you're talking about is that, and this is why you're with us. You talk a lot. You have a lot of opinions. You're
I
funny.
do.
You want to
I
get it out, but you're totally, totally trustworthy, and that is what it all comes down to.
Yeah, I mean,
If
I
there's
guess
an
that's,
appeal between two people and you're both trustworthy, that's golden.
yeah, no, it is. It is. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's very
Bob
cool.
is so right. Like sometimes when I bring Kevin his breakfast with his little silver cup with his vitamins in it, if he doesn't recognize one, he'll say, "What are you trying to kill me with today, woman?" That's the kind of foundation that a marriage is built on, I think.
What is with the little silver cup? Is he Richie Rich? I mean,
No, I have a
what are
little
we doing?
silver cup that I put, like in the beginning, I would put all of his pain meds and antibiotics in.
She's in
Yeah.
total nurse mode.
And now I just put I put a vitamin D pill in there and some calcium and a vitamin and maybe, if he needs it, like an ibuprofen or whatever. And I put it on his plate next to his whatever homemade breakfast is. And he invariably accuses me of trying to murder him.
Well, that whole true weird stuff and everything. She's well versed in all that kind of
Oh
shit.
yeah, plus that ID stuff, and I mean, listen. Let me tell you something. We're all living amongst a group of people. We are pretty sure we could get away with killing each other. We're pretty sure we know exactly how to do it because we've listened and watched and studied. We think we could kill each other. We really do. So we have to trust each other because we think we could get rid of each other. Yeah, we think so.
Well, I'll tell you, for the longest time, I was like, my love, I would never kill you. Look at all you do around here. But I don't know, since that surgery, I seem to be doing.
I mean, are you not taking out the trash all the time, Sheri?
Oh my God, I take out the
No,
trash.
Our trash and recycling to take that up and down the hill. That's some shit right there.
My mom reached out the other day and she said, honey,
That's the
I
thing
will.
I feel the
Yeah.
worst about.
She said, honey, I will pay for a home health aide. I'm like, Mom, I don't need a home health aide. I have to take the trash out in the rain like a raccoon. Like, what kind of life is this?
It's a long ways down and it's a lot longer ways up.
I am now recycling only and taking garbage only to the dump. I killed our garbage service. And I don't know when I go to the recycling area, whether or not when I bring my plastics here and my papers there and my bottles here, and there are a few more than I really am proud of. I don't know if they really
What's that
recycle
like,
them.
I wonder.
Yeah, but at least there's some sort of a shot that it might get recycled because people are telling me if I put it all into a recycling thing, it all goes in the same damn dump, which really makes me sad. So I'm still one of those guys. And Mary says, oh my God, the garbage, I'm saying, I'm taking it. I'll take it on Friday. Friday afternoon is the best time. Don't worry about it. It gets going. But I can't stop myself from doing that.
I recycle everything that I think is recyclable and I bring it down to the street every other, Wednesday? Every other Wednesday. And what happens to it from there is between the recycling bin and the Lord, because I
You've
just
done what
can't.
you're supposed to do.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't know what else to do. I feel like the system is gamed for billionaires and against the rest of us. And they're over there just taking a big old shit on the planet, and I'm recycling a wine bottle. But what can we do? It's all we can do.
Most of the plastic we recycle is bullshit. But my woman She takes that shit up and down the driveway once a week, and that is
I
what I
love that.
appreciate most.
I love
That
that.
And
is
you
some
know what, Sherry? Once you
serious-
get used to that, you could take control of that. You could take control of that once you get used to that. Is that right, Kevin? She could.
It is fantastic exercise. I will tell you that.
Yeah,
Yes.
it is.
Don't go to the gym. Just walk down. Because I've been down your driveway to physically walk with your legs all the way down and all the way back up. That's a workout.
That's
Is
why we
Have you
drive
ever walked-
people up and down the driveway.
Yesterday, because you guys know my driveway.
Yes.
Yesterday, I came in the house and said, "My love, you're going to be so impressed." I hulked out and brought both the empty trash and recycling cans up at the same time up that hill.
Whoa. Impressive. Impressive. It's like this. Their driveway is like
Oh, yeah.
this.
I've only been up that driveway in a golf cart. I've never once walked my fat ass up that dang driveway. I mean, every time I've been to that house, somebody comes and picks us up in a golf cart. So
You can walk it. They have an oxygen station halfway up.
halfway up. Yeah.
Plus,
Yeah.
Sherry told me y'all had some kind of ankle scam going. We weren't going to be risking the insurance.
Yeah, we're working that.
Yeah.
We're-
Yeah. Well,
We're actually going to get Kevin a bigger golf cart now because
Because the other grandparents got all kinds of shit we don't got, and we need it.
it's very offensive.
I mean,
to
let's just be honest. We're
competitive,
gonna
yeah.
it's competition.
But since it'll take him till next January to be fully rehabbed, he needs to be able to get outside, but he can't
Yep.
necessarily carry a bunch of stuff up and down the hill. So, yeah.
get a golf
Yeah.
cart. That's right. Well,
That's
we're
definitely
almost
the-
out of time. We have to wish everybody who is struggling watching tonight, because we have people literally all over the world who are
Yes.
with us this evening. If you are in a place where there's ice and 6 or 8 inches of snow and ice on top of that, please be careful. I have my friend Paul Mezzarandino and his wife Georgina in North Haven, Connecticut, I talked to just the other day, and he was out shoveling 8 inches of snow. And I got Georgina on and I said, please tell him to stop doing that. I saw a guy in the Midwest who had a blowtorch, who was blowtorching the walk up to.
I like
And I looked at that and I said, yeah.
Yeah, I love
Bob,
that.
He's gonna crack his concrete.
my friend Stacy has an actual flamethrower.
Ooh,
She has
Really?
a flamethrower.
that's
The
pretty
snow
cool.
does not dare fall anywhere near her house because she will strap that on like Rambo and teach that snow a
Can you
lesson.
get that at Sam's Club? Where do you
A
get a
flamethrower.
flamethrower? Wow.
She's, I mean, you to look at Stacy, you'd be like, that is the sweetest woman I've ever seen. Yeah, you don't know. Like, never mess with me when Stacy's around because she will take you out and they will not find your body. Now, before we wrap up, once again, tomorrow Lamar is going to review Lover, Stalker, Killer on
Watch
Netflix.
this. You have to watch this. You have to. It's great. It's great.
And every comment counts as an entry. We're giving away caricature mugs. And we're going to do it a little bit differently. Heather, explain so that the winners know what's coming.
So the 5 winners are going to get 2 codes. One that makes the item, you'll order it yourself out of the shop, but you'll have 2 codes to order it that makes everything free. This way it
Woo.
just makes shipping a little faster.
Somebody that gets that code, send it to me because none of that stuff's free for me. So send me that code.
There's no way to transfer them, unfortunately, Lamar. We thought of everything.
It looks like a Poland model at the
Sky Peak, you want to take us out?
Have a great weekend.
Thank you. We
We
love
love
y'all.
you.
Thank you so much. Tommy Phillips, I love you, brother. Thank y'all. Thank y'all so much.
We're going to have a word with Doc about how much he talks. Don't worry. This
Stop
won't happen
talking,
again.
Doc.